From Screen Junkies Studios in the heart of Los Angeles, this is Screen Junkies Movie Fights. Now your host, Andy Signore.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to an epic movie fights. This is the ultimate showdown. I'm telling you, we got them back. Both Schmoes are here. I can't wait to see who wins. And Spencer.
Hey.
Guys, I'm excited. We delayed. We were supposed to have Nick Monday. Nick got busy. Spencer's here in his place. Thank you, Spencer. But we delayed 15 minutes. Obama traffic. Obama's in LA. So I'm not going to say which one was a little late, but it's fine. Someone was. Sorry for the delay. We're live now.
It was me.
I'm talking, so you know. So you know that's why we're a little.
Hour and 15 on the road.
We had a late player last week. I didn't want two Skype fighters in honor of Mike Carlson. But thank you for coming. Let's introduce our players. Today we're talking breaking news. The Batman Superman trailer dropped today. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the Super Bowl. Who won the Super Bowl? Which movie? Which superhero should get a second chance in honor of Daredevil? Who should we, Daredevil, Deadpool, who should we bring back? And so much more fun stuff. So get excited. Don't forget, if you're watching live on ScreenJunkies Plus, hashtag #MovieFightsLive and tell us who's winning, what you want to see, etc., etc. Let's introduce him from Collider Fandango, of course, the Schmoes Know, creator of Night Falls himself, Kristian Harloff.
And iconic. What's up, guys? Happy to be back. It's been a long time, and I'm excited to be back.
Are we going to be able to create another memory like that today, you think?
I don't know. You can't create magic more than twice, I think. So
all right, we'll see. Next to him, you know him, you love him. He's the, as Hal calls, the cute one, Mark Ellis.
I am now the handsome one. I have graduated to handsome one, and I plan on making memories here today.
Yeah.
Not necessarily on the show, but at some point today.
It's like Eminem from 8 Mile.
Memories going to be made.
It does. And on the end, challenging the Schmoes, it's Spencer Gilbert.
Yeah, hi Andy. Listen, Nick Monday passed. I don't want to do the show today.
What?
Oh.
I don't really want to do this. It feels wrong. I mean, you came in late. Like, we're off to a weird start already. It's just like, I'm so excited to take these guys down.
Did you say Nick Monday passed?
Yeah, well, listen. The
That's
thing
the way
is,
you celebrate it?
there's someone here that's been waiting for their shot for a long time, and
What?
it's not me.
What?
So I gotta
is this?
say, for the first time in this show's history, I'm throwing in a movie fight sneak attack.
Hold on to your butt.
That's funny.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Andy, you're a terrible actor.
What?
Sneak attack.
Oh my God, the
Who we got?
first ever sneak attack.
Is this the first ever?
What is happening,
memory.
guys?
Who we got?
History on movie fights.
I don't know.
I don't know.
If it's
Kristian,
JT, I'm leaving.
I don't know who it is, Kristian, but whoever the fighter is
it Obama?
Bring the fighter in.
It's JT.
It could be our president.
Oh my God, who is this?
It's JT.
Is it the president?
Oh my God! He's throwing the gauntlet down.
Unbelievable. Wow.
The
Yeah.
intern, the engineer.
The intern engineer.
What?
Turned mad burper, I heard.
What? Oh my God, you guys are taking JT on today?
It's an ultimate
This
schmodown.
is the ultimate schmodown. And you know what? With that, I had Finstock, and I was like, you know what? Finstock does not know movies as well, but here,
Yeah.
it's mano y mano y mano.
Wait, you work here?
Yes, I do.
How'd you get this job?
News to me.
And I brought a little special something also, Andy.
What the hell's going on?
Basically,
It's a sabotage.
I created a little video, as you would say,
Oh, here we
of
go.
how
Okay.
I believe this match is going to go.
Oh, all right, let's watch this. I haven't
let's go
seen this
ahead,
either.
Jonathan.
Cannot wait till phase 6, I'll tell you that. That's great.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
Alright, this is good stuff.
This took some time, JT.
Carlos down, look at Ellis. Ellis is in trouble.
Oh, he's nervous.
Well, that's great face. And you
I got this
Well done.
All right,
Well
let's
done.
see if he predicted my hair.
I got to back
Let's see
it
if
up
you
after
predict
that.
it, if this is going to actually happen. JT.
Well, you're the judge.
Wow. JT, you throw it out. All right, I'm allowing the sneak attack.
I love it. Yeah, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready
Do we
to
have a
take you
lower
guys
third
on.
for you, JT?
Yeah, we do. Throw me up, buddy.
There he is.
There we go. Thanks, Jonathan.
Look, I got to tell you, I'm still confident because he's out of breath walking from the studio to here. So
Christian, Mark, what do you think of this surprise?
I bring it. Look, listen. JTE is a guy who knows his stuff. This is all about the movie fights. Has always been about the challenge. It's about going up against the best. I think that Spencer is one of the best, and it's nice to have JTE in there as well. The question is, how many of those names that he talks about today is going to mispronounce?
Half. I'm going to say half.
yeah, but
Mark, any thoughts before we begin this bloodbath?
Andy, as you're well aware, and as the people out there know, this is movie fights. This is the big leagues, okay? It's one thing to know movies when you're in the cafeteria, you're eating Fruit Loops, you're sucking on Mountain Dew Code Red. It's a total other thing to come into the Schmoes Dojo and do battle against
Question
us.
for you. Do you still think The Reverend is going to win Best Picture?
Only Guillermo del Toro directed.
All right, before we get to this, I have some other people to introduce. On the Dan Cam, as always, it's Mr. Dan Murrell. Dan, this is some history being made on movie fights. The sneak attack.
History's being made on movie fights, and they are already going wild on Twitter, hashtag movie fights live. OMG, JTE from Casey Levick. JT has entered the ring. This is Morgan Robinson. This is Turn Real. Alex Burfield, JTE. This is going to be awesome. Oh, they're going crazy.
They're going nuts.
They're
All right,
going
I love
nuts.
it. And going nuts, we have a fan herself. I'm so happy to have her. Janice Bryce on the fan cam. Hey.
It's actually Janine.
Janine, Janine, thank you for coming. And Janine, I know I love you because of your artwork. And look at this amazing artwork she made behind us on her shirt and on her poster, on the poster behind them. Wow, good work. You are awesome. Thank you for coming and thank you for making that awesome artwork for us.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Janina's from Fresno, which means she loves 80s rock.
Right.
Yeah.
Janine, this is an epic one you had to stumble in. Are you excited? The Schmoedown is happening. All right. Who are you rooting for? Oh, let's save it for the end. All right. In case I have to rely on her, I don't want people to think that she has a
No,
favorite.
we don't want to influence the judge right off the bat.
All right. Before we start, guys, Schmoeville Phase 6. Got any news? Everyone keeps bugging me. I don't have an answer because I got to defer to you two. What's going on?
And I hate that this has been the answer every single time right now, but we promise there should be something coming within the next couple. We're hoping days.
I can say the term startlingly close.
Yeah.
All right.
Startlingly close.
All right,
Yeah.
but don't blame me, guys.
No. Don't blame Andy. And you've been great about this.
I'm
So,
excited.
yeah.
I know a little bit more than they're allowed to tell you. I'm excited, but we can't.
It's good. It's good. It's big news. And
we'll make sure we announce properly here, and
Yes.
You guys will, of course. But
And
just
you'll
know
see a
it's
lot
we're
of
working on
screen
it.
Look, things are getting a little too hot with Obama in town. Once he leaves, we can say some stuff.
Stay tuned. All right, so we're not ignoring you at home.
No, that's Schmoedown. That trivia match is going to happen against them.
But how's this while we're waiting? This feels like a good. This is a good thing.
Yeah, man,
while
definitely.
we're waiting for Phase 6, we got
Yeah.
the ultimate Schmoedown happening officially here. Real quick before we start, I want to plug on the fan cam. A lot of people asked how to join the fan cam. I want to make sure you guys knew you can. God, my hair today. You can submit.
Fantastic.
You can submit to join us here on the fan cam. You can submit by going to that web link right there, sj.plus/fancam, and you can enter in your info if you want to have a chance to sit on that seat. A lot of people just reach out to us, and now we're getting a lot of requests. Some people didn't want to be on camera. Got to welcome. I'm not going to say who because they didn't want to be on camera, but we like to try and bring our fans here
really cool.
to watch a show, and so we want to include. So that's how you can reach out and find out how to join us here.
We can banter for 10 seconds while Bigger and McCracken fixes it.
Oh my goodness!
There
It's
you
just
go.
Bad hair day.
You have a beautiful head of hair. I want the
All
kids to
right, last plug. I want to make sure everyone knows Knocking Dead starts on Monday at 1 p.m. Guys, if you watch Walking Dead and you're as frustrated as me sometimes in watching that show, Talking Dead just can't be honest. I'll be honest. They can't. They are owned by AMC. They got to say only good things. We're not just trash talking the show, but we're going to be honest about the show every Monday at 1 o'clock on ScreenJunkies Plus. So we're live on Monday, President's Day. Join us. Hopefully watch Walking Dead this weekend.
Who's on that show?
Join and talk. Hector Navarro is hosting that show.
Oh, cool.
So I'm there as well with him, but it should be a lot of fun, so make sure to tune in one. And lastly, this Saturday, February 13th, as a Valentine's Day gift to all of our ScreenJunkies Plus members, we're dropping 10 more honest commentaries. I know you guys love those, where we break down and give commentaries on all the honest shows, and this one's got Frozen, Game of Thrones, some of them are our biggest ones ever we're going to comment on, so stay tuned this holiday weekend to get a nice surprise. All right, let's do this, shall we? Round one.
This is where we fight! Fight!
Whew, round one. See, this was such a... I made sure Spencer was even on the script.
It's funny.
So I thought you might read the script.
It's like Lucasfilm.
JT, all right, here we go. Number one.
Vince McMahon does.
Hunter DeSander on Twitter asked us. This was one that was asked the most. We're a little late on it, but we're going to do it anyway. So many trailers were released this Super Bowl. So we want to ask, what movie won the Super Bowl? Okay, we're starting with you, Christian.
I think it's hands down Civil War. I think that for what we are getting, we know that this movie, look, Batman v Superman's coming out right around the corner, and we know that we're going to see those two iconic characters, but what Civil War is going to do is set up what we've been waiting for over the last, since Iron Man 1. The cinematic universe finally comes to a head where we set up Captain America, we set up Iron Man, they come to a head, we're introducing Black Panther, and they showed that in this trailer. It was nice, it was about 30 seconds, 40 seconds, and it gave you everything that you wanted. It was fast enough, and we're right around the corner to May. So, anything that you needed from that movie, whether it's the full-fledged drama, the battle of, when you finally saw Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. square off in that hallway. It was before the game. They had so much confidence in it, they ran it before the game because they knew it was the highest watch trailer of the entire Super Bowl, and because of it, it's a no-brainer. It was Civil War because of the anticipation of that film.
All right.
It was the highest watched trailer because they dropped it online before the game even began, so they got a head start on everybody else. The trailer that won the Super Bowl was the one that surprised everybody, that we got to see the first footage of the new Bourne movie, ladies and gentlemen. Bourne 5 is coming out, and it's called Jason Bourne, and the movie won the Super Bowl with one punch. When you see that dude walking towards Jason Bourne, we're all wondering, where the hell's this guy been? What's he been up to? Does he work at TGI Fridays? Is he still a badass? The guy walks up to him and just drops him with one punch. That made everybody at my Super Bowl party, which both you boys were invited to, only one actually ended up showing up. Everybody
I didn't get an invite.
Crazy. It's in your inbox. Check your spam folder. So anyway, you see Jason Bourne there, and we didn't know that it was going to come back for a while. The fact that we got it, everybody knows most of these movies are coming out, but a lot of America was like, oh my God, Matt Damon is back as Bourne. That was the biggest shocker, and thus the winner of the Super Bowl trailers.
JT, what's your pick?
Wow, these guys are the real deal. You guys, you're tough, man. The last time I had Doug and I had John, they were good, but you guys make some really good points.
Just
but
answer
listen,
the question.
My answer
That was a nice suck up.
Listen, I'm just saying, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles won the trailer for me. And I'll tell you why.
It won the trailer?
It won the trailer spot for me, the trailer spot. Listen, I'm not a pro like you guys. Give me a break.
Oh, JT, be confident.
Yeah, all right.
Be confident, man.
So in Turtles 2, it actually made me want to see the movie. And that's something I could not say about the first one.
Yeah.
Okay? The first one was dark. It was gritty. It was trying to be like The Dark Knight. They looked like big mutants. They actually went back and did some fan service. I actually recognized people. Rocksteady and Bebop are in the movie, and they look like they're exactly from the cartoon, which is something I've been wanting to see since I was a little kid. And Krang, they revealed Krang. This is not just Shredder, some guy with a blade who basically like a stupid Transformer in the first movie. We're actually going there and we're making Krang the way we want to see him. There's something in the freaking sky look like Unicron from Transformers. I don't know what's going on, but they're going balls to the wall, and I can't wait to see it.
I don't disagree that it was a good trailer, but the thing was that the argument that you're making is the fact that it was everything that you wanted as a fan, and it made you want to see the movie.
Yes.
So was Civil War. Civil War was everything. And the reason why it was better than Bourne is because Jason Bourne is the last movie in the Bourne franchise. They knew that they needed Matt Damon back because the last one didn't work. Coming off, I mean, look, Age of Ultron. Regardless of what a lot of people thought, it made a lot of money. It continued on the storyline in a good way because even in that vision where Tony Stark sees the destruction that's going to happen, that makes you want to see Civil War. So when those images, the only reason when you see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you see that. I agree. It looks like that cartoon that I saw when I was a kid. And it did. It looks more true to the original than this one did. But it doesn't make me want to see the film because Michael Bay still produced it. So from where we're going with the Russo brothers, knowing what they brought with Winter Soldier, and that tone is back, I would arguably say that Winter Soldier is the best movie, and it has that feeling. When you see Civil War, it's got that same kind of intensity. This trailer for Super Bowl had the same intensity that Captain America Civil War had.
Yeah.
And look, again, Bourne, I was as excited. That punch is amazing, but a punch doesn't make a movie. A punch doesn't, we don't even know what the hell it's about. And it's called Jason Bourne. They couldn't even come up with a clever Bourne thing to go with it, so they just called it Jason Bourne because we couldn't think of anything clever.
Oh, okay. As opposed to stealing an idea from the 1860s, we'll call it Civil War. That sounds fresh and original.
It's based off a
Jason Bourne did what every trailer wants to do, and unfortunately for Civil War and for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you guys didn't have that opportunity because it was already in the populace that there was a Civil War coming. We knew that we're going to get another Avengers movie, that there's another one coming down the pipe. What nobody was aware of is that there's a Jason Bourne movie. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. What trailers do so well is they make you aware aware of the movie. So for a football watching audience that already knew, we've already seen the Captain America trailers, we don't really care if there's another Ninja Turtles movie, but every dude watching that game wanted to see if there was ever going to be another Bourne movie. They didn't know, and they got their question answered. That's why it stole what could have been the Civil War title from it.
Let me say something. First of all, Civil War, I'm psyched for that movie just as much as anybody, but there was nothing in that trailer new. Nothing that I did not see in this trailer the first time it premiered. When they showed down Jimmy Kimmel, it was awesome. I was like, I'm on board. When I saw that trailer, it was almost like an edited down version of that same trailer. So I was like, yeah, it looks great. Nothing new there. Jason Bourne, they didn't show any plot. It's a teaser. I mean, show Matt Damon hitting cars and motorcycles and machine guns and a punch. Yeah, that's a simple little trailer. My trailer actually showed you that they're going to please the fans of the cartoon.
None of whom are watching a football game.
Yeah, they are. Are you kidding me? I watched Ninja Turtles growing up.
See, I don't think that it shows that they're going to please the fans the whole way through, because again, the reason I bring Michael Bay is Michael Bay and his company knows, I know he didn't direct it, but he produced it, and they know how to cut a great trailer. Ever see Pearl Harbor? Exactly.
But that wasn't the case with the first trailer.
For
the first movie. I did not like the trailer for the first movie.
I like the first trailer. I thought that, again, that for me, I thought that they showed the turtles in a light. I think that they know how to cut a really good trailer over there. But as far as what's stealing, I think everyone was talking about Civil War. Everybody was talking about that afterwards, because that was not only because did it get all the views because it aired beforehand. That's not the case. It's because people kept rewatching it afterwards and beforehand. They saw it on TV, and then they went to the internet to watch it again and again because it had that much of an impact.
A lot like what actually happened in the Super Bowl, where the Carolina Panthers went in overconfident because they knew they had the best team. That's what happened with Civil War. They knew they had all these superheroes. They didn't have to make a huge splash at the Super Bowl because they've had full-length trailers premiere through huge motion pictures in on YouTube for months now. Jason Bourne had one opportunity to get in there and get his foot in the door first, and picking the Super Bowl, having that 30-second spot was so crucial to a movie that needed it a lot more than Civil War needs it.
But what are the stories about from your trailers? I can tell you what the story's about in my trailer. What's the story about in your guys' trailer?
Jason Bourne fights a dude, and a bunch of superheroes fight a bunch of superheroes. What's the story that you got out of Civil War from that trailer? You got dudes lining up here.
I got a friendship coming to an end because of different point of views. That's exactly what I got from that trailer. After 30 seconds, they were able to let me see that.
Because Robert Downey Jr. went like,
the standoff between both sides. You saw both sides going against one another, and you knew exactly what that was just from 30 seconds of it. You knew. I don't know what your movie was about.
You saw that in the last trailer. You saw them actually fighting in the last trailer, and this one is actually going to be about. Listen, there's little things you can put together, but the main thing I'm going is the theme. Yeah, Shredder's back, and Krang, and the scale is going to be much bigger. Also, when it comes to director, I feel the director had a lot to do with why that first movie was crap, because he did Wrath of the Titans, which was one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
I agree, and that's why the Russo brothers did this one.
I'm talking about the first Turtle
I know
movie.
you are, but
I'm just saying, now we got a different director. Maybe he was able to. He actually looks like he's doing his own thing and trying to please the fans. The Turtles actually look better. Yeah. That is a huge thing. When I saw that first movie, I was like, these aren't ninjas. Every step they take would make like a huge thunder sound because they're freaking monsters. This one, they actually thin them down. They make them look more cartoony. And the fact that Krang, actually, that is a stupid looking character. And he actually, listen, he's like a big guy with a, and then they pulled it off in the trailer. It actually looked kind of cool. And the fact that they were able to pull that off, to me, was just like, okay, you got my ticket. This one, I've seen nothing new. This one, it's a cool little teaser, but nothing new.
You guys are talking...
Final thought. I'm going to use that as your final thought.
You guys are talking about story and theme in a trailer that lasts all of 30 seconds long. What you need to do in a trailer that size is you need to show the folks at home that there's a new movie coming out, and you need to give them one money shot. No trailer did that better. Maybe it was a little more simpler than your trailer with all the superheroes, or yours with all the thinned out, lean turtles, but it did its job the most effectively, because now we know there's a Jason Bourne movie, and we know that Bourne is just as bad as he ever was.
What was the money shot?
What do we
knock the dude out?
That punch, okay.
What do we complain about all the time with trailers? They show too much. What do we Batman v Superman, the last trailer, not the one that came out today, but the last one showed too much. Civil War didn't have to show that much. They showed the image, similar image to what we've seen, but they still put it in a way that it was a story that you know you're getting excited about because they're right around the corner and they're confident in it, and they showed you exactly what's going to happen and what's going to go down between these two beloved characters that you have been on board with from the beginning. It didn't have to show everything. Bourne, we still don't know what it's about. I thought both your trailers were great, just not the best.
All right. Calling it. Dan Murrell, how are the fans reacting? You got any things to clean up there?
Well, if you're going strictly by the numbers, Deadline did a rank of what movie trailers scored the most social media activity. Civil War won that battle.
Of course.
Jason Bourne was second. Ninja Turtles was a little lower down the list. It was in 9th place. If you're going again, these are just
Nobody
by the
brought
numbers.
that up, so
these are
that's-
just by the
doesn't- yep.
numbers. Just if you're
If
going,
someone had brought that up, it might have helped.
And I love Turtles.
I said it was
if
the
you're
number
going
one.
with YouTube views, Civil War's trailer has 5 million, Jason Bourne 3.5 million, Ninja Turtles 3 million. Also,
So Civil War and Ninja Turtles, same amount.
no, Civil War is 5.2, Jason
okay.
Bourne has 3.5,
Sorry.
Ninja Turtles had 3.
Got it, okay.
Andy, a lot of comments from #MovieFightsLive saying stop messing with your hair. It's fine.
It looks good now. It looks good
As
now.
a matter of fact,
the whip works.
Sean Smith at Sean Smith _118 said Andy has great hair. Maybe he can give some to Dan. Ha ha.
Ouch. Oh, that was a jerk thing to say.
Man.
Dan
Thanks,
looks
Sean.
awesome without. Just like I look good with hair.
Stone-
You look great without hair.
Stone Cold Dan Murrell.
There, I fixed it. I feel better now.
All right, that's it.
Great. Janine, what'd you think of that fight?
Pretty good. I think I'm going for Mark, though.
Ooh.
I
All
like
right.
the points about the surprise and anticipation.
Fair enough. So here's where I stood. I think you did have a good point about the one opportunity to reveal itself and it left with a bang. People are still excited about Civil War, but JT really helped me point, like, we've seen it all before already. There wasn't that much new about it, and you didn't sell me on the share social and all the things that I think would have helped. So it did ultimately come down between you two, because JT also sort of impressed me with that. How did we get excited for Ninja Turtles 2? Like, the fact that people are even remotely excited after that first movie is kind of crazy. That said, Bourne also got a lot of excitement, I think, but it really comes down to you two, and I just got to go for the fact that I thought you took Kristian out a little bit better, and you did mention the fact that they pulled off Krang. I'm giving JT the first point.
Thank you.
Well, he does work for you.
I think that was a tough fight, but I got to go off for the points, and I think that's where it came in. So good work, JT. Holy crap! Look, they think.
Yeah. No, we switched. Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Oops.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
What happened?
#Obama. I was concerned that the guy holding a Thor hammer was going to side with Civil War. I thought that was kind of an unfair advantage.
I thought you had it, but you didn't name any of that stuff or the emojis. Come on, dude. Those Twitter emojis were so good.
I apologize.
Round 2.
I want to apologize to Hawkeye and the Black Widow.
All right, there's still plenty of rounds here, guys. Round 2. Now, this one's breaking news today for us because the new and final Batman v Superman trailer dropped. Now, I know a lot of people, Dan, they think we hate Batman and Superman, and it's not true.
No, they don't think we hate Batman v Superman. They think we hate DC in its totality.
It's true. I just dislike Man of Steel. And you know what? People are allowed to like Man of Steel. But
Yes.
people ask us why we don't like it. We tell, and then we're DC haters. I'm hoping this movie is amazing. We don't know yet. The movie's not out, to be fair. Obviously, we're speculating here. But based on all 3 trailers, how excited should we be? Now, this is such a vague question. How do we quantify it? So we wanted to try and actually make this a point where we know we're predicting, but there's a lot of evidence now you can use based on what we're seeing and intels and things and stuff. In order to rate it, I want you to pick a movie, use another superhero movie that's already come out to help explain where you think this one will net out critically and financially. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So pick another movie, a comparable movie that you think at the end of the day, this is where Batman versus Superman will be held up next to in the scope of superhero movies. That's how we're going to rate. I'm going to rate your arguments as to why we think it's going to go there. And again, I'm not picking whoever hates it because that's not where I want this to be good. So tell me where you guys. It's all based on the arguments. So go either way. And we'll start with you, Mark. Where do you see this? Should we be excited?
You know, Andy, anytime you send your answers to Defy and they don't give you a reply, there's some questions. But I'm going to go ahead and say that this movie is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy. This movie is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy, and yes, look, the tone is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy. Had a lot of fun, was very silly. Batman vs Superman is going to be more serious and brooding. However, you have a conglomeration of superheroes that are actually going to start out hating each other and start out fighting each other until they are united by a common goal, that being defeat a bigger and more badder enemy. In the case of Guardians of the Galaxy, it's eventually going to be Thanos. In the case of Batman versus Superman, they're all going to team up to take down Doomsday. It's an evil creature that they realize, hey, we have to put aside our differences, which we may work out at a later point, and go fight this awful thing. It's the dawn of justice. They're taking care of the galaxy. They didn't necessarily want to be on the same team. If you just take out raccoons and put in bats, Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be Batman v Superman.
And from a release critical, you think it'll be as popular from the critics and decent moneymaker?
Absolutely. It's going to be one of
that.
those things that rolls week after week after week, and it's going to surprise the critics because, look, as you said, a lot of people are saying, I don't know about this movie yet. It's going to come out and it's going to surprise you. It's going to knock our socks off the same way that Guardians of the Galaxy did.
Fair enough. JT, where do you stand?
Well, I'm going to compare it to another Batman movie, The Dark Knight Rises. Because, here's why. First of all, I think because Batman's in this movie, it's going to make a crap load of money. It's going to be a lot. It might not be Dark Knight or Avengers level, but it's going to get close. And the reason why I went Dark Knight Rises is because the quality is going to be similar. That movie divided a lot of people. Somebody's begging. And I also believe Man of Steel, which was the previous film, divided a lot of people. So I see it having a very similar kind of split down the middle. People are going to, the DC fans and a lot of other people are just going to love it absolutely no matter what you say. Some people who are a little more judgmental are going to be like, oh, I see some problems here, but I still enjoy it. Just how I feel about The Dark Knight Rises. I enjoy the movie, but I got some problems with it, especially the ending. Same thing could happen with this one, with the whole Dawn of Justice coming together. So financially, right up there with Dark Knight Rises, because it still made a crap load of money. And also, same way, critical, and I think with the people, it's going to be split a little bit.
Kristian, where do you stand?
I'm going to say that it's going to have the same type of impact as the first Iron Man did, because the reason why is, if you think about it, sure, Man of Steel officially kicked off the DCU, but this is the one that they're really putting the eggs in the basket for. This is the one that they really need to work all the way through in order to connect all the tissues through Suicide Squad and Wonder Woman. This is the movie that needs to work, and in order to do that, it needs to be as big and work on the same scale that Iron Man 1 did. And I think it will, because of the way that they're setting up Batman, especially from this trailer that we got today. You see what happened with... They need to set him up. They need to send Ben Affleck up because Christian Bale was our Batman. He was the guy. But now this brand new character, this brand new Batman, is going to be the guy that we really are going to take into Gotham for the next who knows how many movies. As far as financially, I think that it's going to be Age of Ultron. I don't think it's going to do money like the first Avengers will, but I think it'll certainly do the kind of epic business that they wanted to do. And I think because of the facts, what you guys are saying, this team, there are going to be a lot of characters in this movie. But I also think it's characters a lot of people want to see. And because of that alone, you're going to get globally. It's not just a domestic movie. This is a worldwide movie, so it's going to do really well. And even though Ultron didn't hit those numbers the first Avengers did, it made a ton of money. I think it's like the number 10, whatever it might be in the all-time rankings. Batman v Superman will be up there in the top 10 or 15 of all time.
I have a question. So what was your answer?
What do you mean?
Iron Man movie-wise, Ultron.
So we can pick two different movies if we wanted to?
Sure, I'll let you trade it if you want.
I want Guardians of the Galaxy, the whole shebang, Andy, and I'll tell you why. It's because a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, you know what? Everybody knows Batman and Superman. They're known properties, and nobody knew who Guardians was. But when you look at the plots of these movies, they're very similar. There's most people out there had no idea that Batman ever fought Superman, and that coming to the screen is going to have the same kind of shock value that Guardians of the Galaxy did when it came to the screen a couple years ago. And then critically, it's going to be the same thing because it has its doubters. It has its naysayers. People are saying that Batman v Superman, it's too much pressure on one movie, and people are saying about Guardians of the Galaxy, it's just going to be Marvel's little turd in the punch bowl that nobody's going to want to talk about in a couple of years, and it ended up being one of their flagship franchises, as is Batman v Superman. This is launching a new Batman. This is launching a new Wonder Woman. This is launching new superheroes that we haven't seen in this incarnation before. Guardians of the Galaxy did the same thing just as magnificently. It launched new superheroes, some of which can be related, some of which can be alien, some of which can be human or non-human. It doesn't matter. We all root for them because they came together during the film.
Guardians introduced new characters that we had never really heard of before. Yeah. This is not introducing new characters, Batman v Superman.
Exactly.
These are iconic characters. Like,
Iconic.
It's Superman. It's Batman. So I mean, you have
the poster I was pointing at.
Yeah. So but you have these characters that it's very different from what Guardians did. Because Guardians did something extraordinary for sure, but this is something completely different. I mean, you have Batman and Superman, who are the two best superheroes arguably in history going up against one another. That alone, that's Tyson and Holyfield back in '91 if you wanted to get it. So you're going to get people in the door no matter what. It's just
how does that compare to Iron Man? Iron Man was not a Spider-Man. He was not a Batman.
But you guys are talking about story-wise. I'm not talking
stories. I'm just talking about anticipation for the movie.
Sure.
Iron Man was like a curiosity that looked cool. Like it was not Batman v Superman.
No, I agree. But what I'm talking about in regards to Iron Man is what happened after it came out. After Iron Man came out, that movie hit in a way that it just pushed forward the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
You think that's what this is going to do?
Absolutely.
So you think it's going to be great, knock out of the park, home run. It's right out of the gate.
It's going to certainly push.
I'm not talking
forward.
Money. I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. It's going to push forward the DC Cinematic Universe because it has to. Because Suicide Squad's right around the corner. It sets up the entire feel of who you're going to be following. Because you're going to see Aquaman in that movie, regardless if it's for a quick second. You're going to see all these characters. It introduces so much. So this is the one that they're going to say, just like Iron Man, that pushes forward the end scene of Iron Man in that post-credit post-credit scene with Sam Jackson set up. We're gonna get the Avengers. Well, now because of this, we're getting the Justice League.
Here's the issue: the reason that movie pushed the Marvel thing forward was because it got like one of the best reviews movie of the year. Sure. It was like huge on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm going by the movie that came from the same director before it, Man of Steel. Okay reviews, good money.
He didn't
not
have
great.
Ben Affleck with him last time.
He didn't have Ben Affleck, which is why I'm saying I think it's going to be mixed. I listen. I would love nothing more for Zack Snyder to tell a great, amazing story. I have not seen it yet. 300, great visuals.
Guardians
Decent story
of Ga'Hoole.
for free. Yeah, Guardians of Ga'Hoole, Watchmen. It's faithful, but some reason there's always an ingredient missing, I feel like, whenever I see one of his movies. So that's why I can't say it's going to just be... I agree, it is going to push DC forward because they're putting every buck and everything they have into this movie.
But that's what I'm comparing it to. And I'm also saying, by the way, with Ben Affleck, that's why they brought him in. They didn't just bring him in because he was a movie star. They brought him in because of Argo and The Town. They brought him in because of those movies. Because you don't think he's consulting and helping, so that's why I think critically it's going to be looked upon a lot more too. Because even though he doesn't have his name on it, trust me, he had his hands in it.
I hope to God you're right. I just haven't seen enough to let me think that.
Don't you talk about those goddamn owls, man. The Guardians of Ga'Hoole is phenomenal. I'm going to tell you this, okay? It's nothing like Iron Man because, right, it did have Man of Steel. Man of Steel was not a great movie, but at least it had the help of launching a franchise, okay? And with your movie, that's the end. That's the culmination. That's the last in a trilogy of movies.
It's Batman, though.
It's the last thing you see of Batman versus this is the dawn. Do you know what a dawn is? It's the morning. It's the next morning. Guardians of the Galaxy was the dawn of a new generation of superheroes coming together to fight for a common goal.
But it was over. So it's different. Like, this is the beginning. He's right. This is the
beginning
of it all.
It was the ending.
Everyone was anticipating the ending of it because it was a great trilogy that was announced as a trilogy.
The reason I'm giving it to Dark Knight is because it is still Batman. He alone will bring ass into the seats, which I couldn't say really about Guardians. The trailers will win people over. No one heard of Guardians before the movie came out. Iron Man, small C to B level character that no one really knew. They're going to go see Batman. That's why it's going to make that money.
We're talking about afterwards. Like, after it comes out. He's the question as far as...
Financially?
No. But the first thing is how it's going to be received.
Yes, I think it's going to be a mixed bag because I don't think Zack Snyder has ever delivered a home run.
Look, we can all acknowledge it's a very confusing question because I only picked one movie to argue, but I will tell you this, it's nothing like Dark Knight Rises because critically, Dark Knight Rises, everybody loved all the trailers and then was let down afterwards. This is different. People are a little apprehensive, and I think critics are going to end up loving it after the fact. Age of Ultron was the coming together of a bunch of superheroes, and then critics were like, it wasn't as good as the first one.
I'm just talking about financial.
Okay, well, then Iron Man's the same thing. There was no team up or anything in Iron Man. There was no, it was just one dude going up against, this is such a celebration of superheroes, which is the same thing Guardians of the Galaxy was. It was a celebration of multiple superheroes fighting each other at first and then going after each other.
I think Guardians of the Galaxy are heroes, but I want to go as far as superheroes. And also, I think your trailers, both your guys' trailers were awesome. They were so good. First teaser for Superman and Batman, awesome. Second one, shit the bed.
Yeah.
And
language, Landy.
I'm sorry, I'm just saying, like,
did you see the one today?
People are already, and it's good, but people are already arguing about the trailers. Your guys' trailers had no arguments. Everyone's like, I cannot wait. I'm on board. Bring on the movie.
Yeah, but if you look, but again, this is a world where you watch the last trailer and you see what the opinion has changed. You watch today, myself included, opinions have changed when they saw exactly, because we didn't know exactly the effect what Batman was going to do. To your argument, the fact that how crucial it is to have Batman involved. You see that setup in the beginning of that trailer of what Batman is going to do, and then what happens at the end of that trailer, and you go, oh, wait a minute, this is what they sold us. This is Batman v Superman. This is the fight. This is not Pacquiao versus Mayweather. This is going to be...
Unfortunately, I can't take back that last trailer I watched where I know basically the end of the movie.
All right, I'd like to get... I want some help on this round. I'm asking Twitter. Dan put a call out.
Just so I can get some hard numbers, can I get clarification on what everyone's saying as far as box office and reception?
Sure.
So, Kristian, you're saying...
Reception is Iron Man.
Yep.
Box office is Ultron.
Right. So Kristian is Iron Man, Ultron. Okay.
Dan Murrell, the whole shebang is Guardians of the Galaxy through and through.
All Guardians. All right.
Dark Knight Rises split. I'm liking it, but made a shitload of money.
So you're going all Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight Rises.
All right. So we're putting a poll. There's a poll on Twitter, right? ScreenJunkies Twitter.
Yes.
There's a poll on ScreenJunkies Twitter to help. I want the fans to chime in because they're not going to believe me. They think I'm biased. They're not going to like what I think.
Don't admit that on there. Come on,
They
Andy.
think I am. I'm going to declare a winner here, and I want to. You have one more shot. You're going to do your finals, but I want to get a second opinion from the fans who are watching on Plus. So go to Twitter and pick the poll. Twitter lets you pick more than 2 options now, so we can do this.
Yeah.
So tell me which now, based on the arguments at home, guys. It's not your personal. That's why it's not going to. necessarily demon, but based on the arguments, who gave the best fight so far? Last closing argument, Kristian, start with you. Last point.
I just think
why again speculating why this movie will be like that.
I just think as far as critically why it's going to be like Iron Man is, again, because I will mention I think that it is Ben Affleck being there, it really holds a lot of weight because he is one of the best directors out there right now. He is collaborating very well with Snyder, and if you look at the trailer so far, this trailer alone says a lot about the tone of what it's going to be. In regards to Iron Man, I really put a lot of weight into the fact of how much they have to push forward the DCU the same way that they did the MCU with Iron Man. They put a lot of chips in that Iron Man bag. They're putting a lot of chips in Batman v Superman. Yeah, Man of Steel was there, but like you said, it's a bit mixed, and it didn't have Batman in it. This shows everybody everything they're going to do, and as far as why it's going to make as much as Ultron did, because they haven't proven themselves, the DC universe hasn't proven themselves the way that Marvel has yet, and that movie.
But Ultron made more money than Iron Man, so you're saying it's going to be a bigger hit than Iron Man was. Okay.
Yeah.
Last thoughts, Mark.
Look, critically, it's going to be a lot like Guardians of the Galaxy because you're seeing a conglomeration of heroes come together to fight a common goal. Financially, it's going to be like Guardians of the Galaxy because, like Guardians, it's going to surprise people. People are going to be shocked at how much they like the movie. They're going to want to see it again and again, and it's going to pick up steam. It's not like Iron Man because it's not launching a franchise. Iron Man needed other superheroes, which is what we have in both Guardians and in Batman vs. Superman. And it's not The Dark Knight Rises because Guardians and Dawn of Justice are the beginning of something, not the end of something.
It's Dark Knight Rises for two reasons. Number one, it's going to be a mixed bag. Look at Man of Steel. Look at Dark Knight. When you create a character this big, especially when you're bringing Superman in, also, you're not going to be able to please everybody. So I really feel like there's going to be a big divide because of Zack Snyder and the fact that he's yet to tell a great story. He always has plot holes. There's always things where you're just like, why did you do that? And financially, it has Batman. That's why I think it's going to make way more than Man of Steel. Man of Steel is not Batman. Batman is Batman, and it's going to bring in all the dough. So that's why Dark Knight Rises, because it had Batman. It was a huge hit. That's why I take Dark Knight Rises.
Calling it. All right, Dan. Don't tell me the results yet.
That was tough.
I'm going to ask you. I'm going to declare who I think before we go there. But
Gotcha.
How are the thoughts and anything you would like to clean up there?
Confusion reigns on movie fights. A lot of movie names and numbers and facts and figures being swirled around. But let me just give you the hard numbers from the comparisons that they made. So Iron Man was 94% fresh critically on Rotten Tomatoes. Hang on, that's not right. Sorry.
It's all right.
No, that was, I'm sorry. It was Iron Man, 94%. Ultron made $1.4 billion worldwide. It's the number 7 all-time grosser worldwide.
It's a lot of money.
It made 459 domestic, so that's it was the highest rated of all the choices and the highest grossing of all the choices that we've had so far. For Mark's Guardians, 91% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, made $773 million worldwide.
Good number.
And Dark Knight Rises actually was 87% fresh critically. On Rotten Tomatoes, made $1 billion worldwide, $450 million domestically. Man of Steel actually is 56% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. That made $670 million worldwide. So it trails everything that was listed by our participants so far, and my head is swimming.
I think it came down to 2. I'm just going to get to it. And the 2 were Kristian and JT. Because I think the Guardians, you got me a little confused on, and I was with them on how...
You're confused. Maybe the ponytail man who shall remain nameless who sends out the question should be clear as to what the hell we're answering. I was literally shooting garbage for the last 10 minutes, and I hope the people out there on Twitter appreciate what I was trying to do.
Well, let's see if
you changed your answer. Well, I guess you went first, so you didn't understand.
Yeah.
Well, the question, everyone got the same question for the record to defend the ponytailed man.
Can that be his name going forward?
So it came down to Ken and JT, and I think where it fell for me was... JT acknowledged the divide, which I think is hard to ignore. That said, you did very well, strongly, I think, hit on the fact that this is the pushing of a lot of things happening and forward. But I think it ultimately comes down to JT for saying, again, I want to see what the polls say. I think it ultimately comes down to JT because I think you went too positive with so high, which I think he called out, and I think there's a little dissent that JT acknowledges, and I don't want to say it because I'm a hater, because I'm not, but I think JT picked one that seems a little bit, based on his arguments, picked a little more realistic. Now I'm curious, so I'm picking JT. I'm just curious, Dan, what are the fans on Twitter saying?
Well, I'm refreshing because it is down to the wire. Wow. It is a very close vote.
If Batman v Superman is in the 90s, I'll be shocked. That's all I want to say.
It is a very close vote. I asked between the 3, between Kristian.
I'll take
Mark's
it.
close.
Between Kristian,
is Mark close too?
Thanks
Mark
for including
and
me,
JTE, there are 263 votes. Kristian has 29%. 35% for Mark, 36% for JTE.
Ooh.
It is as tight as it could be right now.
Thank you.
I'm all right. Well,
I'm gonna refresh one more time just to see if that changed at all. But Kristian is running a close third. It's like the Iowa caucus.
Really?
A close third.
Mark beat you and he was bullshitting.
It is. Yeah. Look, it's Kristian 29%.
I gotta give you a better shot.
I know.
Mark 35%, JTE 36%.
All right, and I'm calling the same one I picked, and the fans reinforced it. JT gets the point again. I did not see that coming, guys. I'll be honest. What's happening? No, I did not. I did not see that scoreboard coming, guys. Come on, what the hell?
Dude, it's the tortoise and the hare, okay? This guy's gonna get out to a hot lead. He's gonna sit on the side of the road and take a nap, which he does most nights.
Speed round's gonna be tough if I make it.
Well, that said, I think JT. Well, yeah, no, it could be. You could get a tie. JT's now in the lead. It's now who can take him in the speed round. Round 3. Rival Tag on Twitter asked us, with much anticipation, Deadpool is finally hitting theaters. So Rival Tag on Twitter asked us, what other superhero that has already hit the big screen deserves a second chance? So this has got to be a person who's made a movie already that we want to see come back in a fun new way. And JT, you're starting us off.
All right, I'm going to go with one of the worst comic book adaptations I have ever witnessed in a theater. I'm going to go with Spawn. Spawn is one of the comics that came out in the 90s that everybody went crazy for. I didn't read comics as a kid. I started reading comics because of Spawn, and I cannot tell you how excited I was for that movie. Number one mistake, PG-13. That movie cannot be PG-13. The closest thing we've got to a movie is the HBO show, which was animated, which was really cool, really low budget, but it had the grit and the violence. And let me tell you, Spawn is violent. It's about a guy who's like a hitman for the military, gets killed, goes to hell, sells his soul to the devil to join the army, and then basically tells the devil, I'm not going to do that, I'm going to go to Earth, and is hidden. And it is so dark. There's sex, violence. To go PG-13 is one of the biggest mistakes for a comic book movie I've ever seen.
So you're
it's gotta
going
be Spawn.
And you go R.
Hard R. It's gotta be.
Kristian, what's your pick?
Green Lantern. I mean, there was a mess. It was an absolute mess. Ryan Reynolds knows it's a mess. He cracks on it every shot that he can. Whether or not we bring back Hal Jordan, whether or not we bring John Stewart, he's going to eventually even announce that they're going to bring him back eventually because they know that he needs a second shot. It's a great character. It also blends sci-fi, it blends fantasy, and it's just a movie that we need to see. It's one of the most beloved comic book characters of all time, and it's the same way Deadpool was given a crack shot the first time he came out. So was Green Lantern, by the same guy, unfortunately. And this time he needs to come back by a different actor. He will, and it'll be a big hit.
Mark, what's your pick?
All right.
Andy, when I read this question and I actually fully understood this query, I instantly thought, you know what? Wes Craven was a genius. He made a couple bad movies, and one of the ones that he didn't fully explore was Swamp Thing in the early 80s. Swamp Thing needs to come back to cinemas in a big way because Swamp Thing is a humanoid who comes from the earth. I mean, look at that poor sap. That's what you want your screen legacy to be? You need another Swamp Thing because you can go so many different directions with it, and you can include them all in the same film. You can have a horror element because it's this creature, we're not sure what's going on, but he's actually a good guy. Not only does he fight for the side of justice, he also fights for the earth, for the swamp. That has never been more important. Environmental causes are huge today. Everybody wants to go green. Everybody wants to save the Everglades. Swamp Thing is a great ambassador for that, but he's not just a pussy like Smokey the Bear. He's actually going to get out there and he's going to teach the kids a lesson. If you pollute, if you dump foreign snakes in my swamp, I'm going to beat the crap out of you, and it's a great franchise to launch from.
All right, guys, which one do you want to see more? And we'll put this out again. Let's do another fan vote just because I'm curious as we do it. Swamp Thing, Green Lantern, Spawn. But it's based on your arguments. I'm going to be judging this one. Which one do you want to see? Which one don't you want to see?
Oh, yeah, I want to. Is John Fogerty going to sing the Swamp Thing song again?
You would think CCR would be in there,
Who's yelling for Swamp Thing?
No one is yelling for Swamp Thing.
Also, let me ask you this. What's his powers?
Swamp Thing, he comes from the earth and he uses his strength of the earth. He comes from the core.
It's a good sell.
I'm sorry, what is Spawn's powers? His dad locked him in a room?
Excuse me, I don't expect you to know his powers because nobody knows Swamp Thing's powers.
Yeah, well,
He's horrible.
Spawn's not going to cut it anymore either, though.
Spawn?
Because
Wait, well, let me answer the power thing real quick. Because
yes, I would need you to answer the powers.
Because what better reason to make a movie showcasing a hero than we get to know what his powers are? We know the Green Lantern's got a ring that's magic. We know Spawn goes to hell and works at Hot Topic. There's things we don't know about Swamp Thing.
What are his powers?
He is an elemental humanoid that comes from the earth, namely the swamp. and he has the power of the trees, of the muck,
All
of
right,
the mud, of the green, of some alligators are thrown
That
in there.
may be true, but we're going to verify at the end of the fight. But
Sure, I welcome it.
Another night falls.
He's made out of vegetable. He's made out of vegetable.
I'm just curious, like,
Look it up.
what's your story? What's your story? Like, tell me every superhero has a simple story that you could say in a few sentences. Iron Man, Superman, Spider-Man. How do you become Swamp Man?
Huh? I want to find out.
That should be Swamp
You're
Man.
asking, so apparently more people than just me want to find out. How did Swamp Thing become Swamp Thing? As opposed to Spawn, where he gets his face messed up, he goes to hell, he comes back, he's a dick.
Spawn is essentially it's Deadpool without the humor.
No.
And the thing is also
Totally different.
and Todd McFarlane is when he did that HBO series, which was one of the best.
So good.
The problem is that where is he going to fit in? Both your movies, there's no place for these guys to fit in right now, as where the Green Lantern will fit into the DC cinematic universe like that, and he'll be able to fit in with the Guardians.
With the snap of
I mean,
the
not
finger?
Guardians. He'll be able to snap of the finger. He will add what the Guardians added to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, with bringing in the space.
Spawn could be its own thing. Number one, it doesn't need to be part of a universe. I think
But
that's
not
a
a
problem.
Swamp Thing.
Not a Swamp Thing, and also. It could be radar, and it should be radar, and Deadpool is paving the way for that.
I know, but
so
I'm
you're
just-
finally. It wasn't even. I would say Spawn back then. The reason why it wasn't made R because it wasn't possible. Blade didn't come out till years
was
later.
made rated R, wasn't it?
It was PG-13. Trust me.
Really?
Check on that, Dan. I'll
All right.
bet any money on that. There might have been a radar straight to DVD, like unrated cut, but even that was PG-13. Here's the thing: the violence is the main reason why Spawn is Spawn, because his whole dilemma is that he killed innocent people during the war. He killed people as a hitman. He had no soul. So to able to show that in the right way in a film, it has to be rated R.
It's also very hard to get audiences on board with that in feature film. Like Deadpool, they're able to do it because, guys, he's not necessarily a good guy, but it's Ryan Reynolds. He's got that humor. There's something about him breaking the fourth wall, all that stuff. There's a little bit more to him.
Yeah.
It's harder for audiences to jump on board with Spawn. That's why it's been so hard for them to make that movie, because it's hard for audiences to get behind a guy who's from hell. And if it's a smaller horror film, I love Spawn. I
Yeah,
love the
it's so
series.
good.
The HBO series is great. Besides it being a terrible movie the first time, it's hard to sell that premise to a big audience.
And I agree with the Spawn point to a measure, because look, Spawn is something that even the comic fizzled out, and it's like, and what is Spawn now? What has carried on Spawn's legacy? A bunch of toys from people our age who like the original comic book, okay? And with the Green Lantern, at least with our movies, there's no pressure on our guys to fit into an already existing universe. Green Lantern, if he comes in to the new Dawn of Justice and sucks again like he just did a couple years ago, it's not only going to tank him, it's going to tank the entire franchise.
Sure, but I don't have confidence. I have more confidence in the fact that it won't suck, because they're gonna know how important it is to give him the right telling to him. Because when they did that, there was no shared universe. It was just them kind of throwing. Oh, people like the Green Lantern. Let's throw it out there, and they didn't know what they were doing. That's where I think it's more inviting this
So
time.
your guy needs a shared universe to exist, where a Swamp Thing can just come out and save people who get stuck in the swamp.
Here's the other thing: when it comes to Green
My guy
Lantern,
made your guy.
Listen, Green Lantern, they tried it. They had a good director. They had a good actor. I don't blame Ryan Reynolds, and it fell apart at the seams. Now, even DC themselves, they know they can't do an original Green Lantern movie, so they're coming out with the Green Lantern Corpse. They're basically changing it into like
The what?
It's called the new film that was announced by DC. Is called Green Lantern Corpse. Is that wrong?
Dan, what's it called?
Dan, the Corpse. Am I saying it wrong? Damn it! Hey, it was gonna happen.
If you're saying it phonetically,
Yes.
it would be corpse. It's
Corp.
Core.
Core.
Green Lantern Core.
Hey, all right.
Oh,
all
was
right.
it Core? I thought it was. Okay, so I'm wrong, but still.
Okay. I
My
didn't know
point
you
is
were
that
closer enough.
I thought he was dead or something.
Yes, my.
He's not a corpse.
It will be dead at the box office if they make another Ryan Reynolds type Green
But
Lantern
they're
movie.
not going to that, and they did announce that they're going to do one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with the Green Lantern Corps, by doing that, don't you think you really don't think, honestly, not just for the sake of your argument, you don't think that story and how popular he is as a character, that he doesn't deserve another telling in this?
It's not going to be just a telling of one guy, though. It's going to be more of like, I think, a group kind of like military
the
type movie.
character of the Green Lantern coming into.
Which character do you have, Jon Stewart or?
I think Jon Stewart.
Okay.
I think Jon Stewart, and I think Nate Parker is Jon Stewart, especially after when you see what Birth of a Nation is going to do as a film, and then you see what this guy can do in general as an actor. If I put him in as a Jon Stewart as the Green Lantern, I think it is a brand new way to introduce.
Okay,
him.
I didn't get to go to Sundance, okay, but I can tell you this. I think this is becoming a who knows more about their superhero, where the question at hand was which superhero deserves a second chance, and I think Swamp Thing deserves a second chance more than Spawn and more than Green Lantern, because look, with Green Lantern, he has to have a movie that will help him exist in a current current universe because he can't do it on his own, as you just
also-
pointed
no,
out.
that's also
As
the
you
part
already
of it.
pointed out. And with Spawn is something that has to be rated R or else it's not going to work. It's got to be done a specific way.
Yes,
Yours
that's why it
has to be done
deserves.
a specific way. Swamp Thing, you can make G. You can make it PG. You can make it
that's
appealing
gonna
just
suck.
to kids.
horrible.
You can
That's
make
gonna
it a
suck.
hard
That's
R.
Is
horrible.
Randy Newman going to sing the theme song?
Strumming out from the
Come on, the flower.
He gets his power from carrots. It'd be a great thing.
Here's the thing: the reason Spawn deserves another go at it is because
is your final
this is my
thoughts.
final. Because Green Lantern actually they stuck pretty close to the comics. They tried their hardest. His powers are kind of ridiculous. Doesn't really always make sense to me. I watched the movie. I'm like, all right, so he can create anything. Well, he's making jets now. He's making all these stupid little things. So the character is flawed at the very core. So I think that he doesn't really deserve it because he's already had his chance. He had a big budget DC movie and it failed. And all the ingredients were there. I think the character just didn't work. Period. Swamp Thing is ridiculous. I don't know anything about the character. I know nothing about his powers.
We all want to know more.
The originals are so bad they don't even deserve. Some movies are so bad they deserve another chance. Yours is so bad it doesn't
Yeah,
deserve
because
another chance.
Spawn won a lot of Oscars, man.
No, Spawn was bad, but it was not anywhere close to the source material. I guarantee you watch those old Swamp Things, they're not probably that far from what the original comic was telling you.
Final thought for Swamp Thing.
Look, I'm going to tell you this, okay? Everybody gets so consumed with, superhero movies now have to be made for guys our age. When superheroes were originally aimed to entertain kids, Swamp Thing can do that, and he can also terrify adults. It's a
So
matter
you
of which
are
way you
owning
want to
it's
go
gonna
with
be
the
a kids movie now.
It can be any movie you
What
want
are
it to
you
be. And
picking?
I would probably go with kids because he's from the earth. He can teach the kids to be responsible, eat your vegetables, and you two can grow up to be big and strong.
So like Captain Planet.
Captain Planet.
Okay.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
Christian.
I'll put him in the movie with the Smurfs and the Chipmunks where we're at it. But I think that also, I mean, I agree.
He doesn't
with you.
need a shared universe like your guy does.
I totally agree with you on this point and this point alone. His movie's ridiculous. Now, I will tell you this, JT, is that like I said with Spawn, I think that it's a great movie and a great premise for a television show. And I think that a Netflix series could be amazing. And I think that they could really explore what they want to do with Spawn in that world because there's so much more that you can embrace, like something like a Breaking Bad where you can embrace the real bad guy. It's harder to do that in film as that guy is the main protagonist. My God, does it need a shared universe?
Yeah.
Because that's what we're in right now. Every movie that they make in the DC or Marvel right now, it's part of the shared universe.
It's gotta
So no matter
be.
it
It's gotta be.
well, he's part of it. So yeah, it's got to be. Otherwise, he's not just going to do a standalone movie. Like, this doesn't count. It's retcon. It doesn't count. It's going to count, and they want him to be in there because I disagree. I can't even disagree with you more. The fact that how it is so important that this character gets involved in the DC. He's a great character. The reason the first one failed was horrendous acting, horrendous writing, a laughable villain. The guy's face was like hanging off the whole time, and he was about as intimidating as a Swamp Thing. So I would tell you overall,
Don't piss that dude off, man. I'm telling you.
Nail it down. Overall, Green Lantern is the movie that needs to come back, and the fans want to see him come back.
Time up. All right, Dan. What are they saying over there?
They're
Janine, this is
saying-
great, huh?
Yes.
They're saying so much.
Oh no.
There is a. First of all, Green Lantern Corpse is a big hit
Trending.
already.
Hashtag Green Lantern Corpse.
I've done my job for the day.
Yeah.
But smell like a dead body.
There's a big contingent on Twitter for Ghost Rider, who was not
Yeah, that's a
mentioned.
good one.
No.
that's a good one.
JTE, you were right. Spawn was theatrically released PG-13. It was cut down from what it was originally filmed, and there's an R-rated director's cut available.
Like no change though.
But let's get to the Swamp Thing in the room. So here's what I found about Swamp Thing.
Yeah, let's
He
hear
has
it.
superhuman strength.
Thank you.
He can control any form of plant life.
Okay, he did say
Poison
that.
Ivy.
Here's my favorite, and this is just straight from Wikipedia because I love this. Swamp Thing can inhabit and animate vegetable matter anywhere, including alien plants, even sentient ones, and construct it into a body for himself. As a result, bodily attacks mean little to him. He can also easily regrow damaged or severed body parts and can even transport himself across the globe
He's
by
Groot.
leaving his current form, transferring his consconsciousness to
We
a
just
new
went from
form
movie to trilogy, boys.
If you only knew all that.
grown from
Damn.
whatever vegetable matter
would have helped.
is present in whatever location he wishes to reach. He's the swamp.
It's also Marvel, right?
That I believe is a.
Yeah, I believe
is
it's
it?
Marvel.
I thought it was DC. I could be wrong.
I thought
If
it
you had
DC.
pitched Groot showing up in it,
I thought it was DC.
Are you saying I didn't win this
no,
fight?
you didn't win this fight.
Yeah.
Swamp Thing is DC.
It's DC.
Swamp Thing is a
Oh,
DC
okay.
character.
No, it came down to JT and Christian for me, to be perfectly honest. I think they both. You didn't sell me on it. I was with them of just what, and I feel like you weren't even picking what you wanted. You're like, it could be anything.
It could be.
And then you sort of went with a kids movie, and I was like, that doesn't sound good either. So, to be perfectly honest, I went through these two, but good valiant effort, and it was funny. JT and
Oh, well,
Christian.
good. Hey, Ma, I was funny on the internet today.
But it came down to
interwebs.
Green Lantern and Spawn, and that was a good fight. I gotta say, that was a good fight. Did we ask the audience what they? Because I'm gonna say mine first. Did we ask the audience too?
Oh, was I supposed to do that?
Oh, we didn't. Then it's
I'm
fine.
sorry.
No,
I had to
it's
look
all
up.
good.
I
just wanted to know from a hosting.
I had to look up Swamp Thing.
You had a lot to look up, so it's all good. Based on the arguments, I think JT really brought a lot of interesting things about Spawn, but I think Kristian really in his final brought it better and gave us a good reason why Green Lantern. So Kristian gets the point.
JT.
Do you like that little switch? JT thought he got it, and then it was really Kristian.
Yeah. That was tough.
It's like a Ryan Seacrest move I just did. No, but I thought Kristian. It was tough. I was actually leaning JT, and then your final closing really sold the deal of why it was
he
really
got with
strong.
That closing. I was like, damn it. I want another closing.
It's a good fight.
All right, round 5 is the one. Or, sorry, round 4 is the one I've been looking forward to for a while now. I need some help from Ryan over there to give me some buckets.
Okay.
Guys, this one's a blind fight to an extent.
I've been doing that all game, baby.
This is your one to win, Mark.
He's got this.
All right.
I've got 2 of them on the wall.
Here's how this works, guys. So we have made some fake movie titles and some actor names.
Okay.
Now, you guys, in honor of Night Falls, that's why we're back. This was a Night Falls reunion. I know it's a sneak attack and JT's here, but this was really in honor of Night Falls, one of my favorite movie fight moments, Kristian. So thank you for that. And Mark, you were there too. And Nick,
Always
I guess.
happy to participate.
So I'm going to give Kristian the credit on that one. But in honor of Night Falls, we thought this would be fun. I want you guys to pitch a fictional movie, and you got to use it using the title you pull out of this mug, and you got to pick 3 actors. One of them is a cameo. 2 of them are stars.
And we're not allowed to use any other directors or any other stars?
No, anything else you want can be added, but you have to include the title and the 3 actors you pull.
Okay, so I could pick 3 actors, then I could just have 5 more actors that I want in the movie.
You could do that,
come
but make
in.
sure there's 2 stars and a cameo.
So 2
stars, a cameo, and a title. Does everyone understand?
It can be a mix of both those.
There's a few genres in here. We pick by genre, but you can make it whatever you want. Does everyone understand how this is going to work?
Yeah.
All right, and no looking when you look. And we're starting with you, Kristian. In honor of Kristian, you're going first. Why don't you want to pick your title first?
Am I actually going to go first?
Yeah.
I'm going to go first.
Pick your title.
All right.
I'll give you all. Do all in 1 second. That's fair.
Yeah.
Pick your title.
I don't need
Then
any
don't tell
time.
us yet. Now pick your 3 actors.
Is anybody in there an elemental from the swamp?
All right, Mark, pick your title.
Wait, I only got 1 actor. I think it's supposed to 3. All right.
Don't cheat.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, wait, I get 1 more actor.
Pick one more. Don't look.
That's a
It's
good
exciting stuff. What are you cheating there?
idea. No, I'm not cheating. 3.
All right, you each got your title. All right, now pick 3.
I'm really not. I got to show this to you because I'm really not sure this is. Yeah. It looks like notes from the ponytailed man.
Yes, pick another title. That shouldn't have been cut.
What I got for everybody at home, it said actors in bold, and then it said working on title, ... And I'm like, it's a Woody Allen movie about a guy with writer's
Get an
block.
official. Everyone else got an official title.
I need the characters.
Oh yeah, characters now. Here are your 3 characters. Kristian gets a little time. This is all delay, so
Yeah,
Kristian
yes.
can think a
This
little bit.
feels
I
like
picked 3.
this feels like that moment when you're going up a roller coaster and you're just hearing that tick 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 tick.
You all got your 3? You got your 2 stars and your cameo?
This is gonna be great.
That's freaking grab the water. Gross. Don't tell Mark, I'll drink it. All right, grab 3 quickly. I want to make sure you got it.
Who chose these damn things?
Quickly, JT, just pick.
One more,
All right,
one more.
and now give me the mug.
Stallone.
Give me the mug. All right, we got the mugs out there. I don't want anyone to cheat. Ryan, take these away from me and hand me some paper
Oh, you gotta
towels.
be shitting me.
Thank you, sir. Here's water to your mess.
Movie Fights Live is
All right, you
breathless
cleared the
with
mess.
anticipation.
Kristian, you ready now? You
Yeah.
had some time. I delayed as long as I could.
I'm ready, but there's a problem.
Yes.
This movie actually came out in 2012.
Okay.
You guys have seen it. It was Ivan Reitman's return for Dog and Country. It was a very funny comedy starring Warwick Davis and Margot Robbie. It was Margot Robbie's
The movie was
first-
called For Dog and Country.
For Dog and Country.
Starring
and
Warwick Davis and Margot Robbie.
Okay.
Okay.
And it was surprisingly really funny because you would be like, well, wait a minute, we haven't seen Warwick Davis in a while, but he embraced the fact that he was Wicket, but they really played off of the fact that he was in Willow. And I remember the moment that I was laughing the hardest in the movie was when Margot Robbie, she plays this kind of a wild fan, and she loved Willow as a kid, and she had to find Warwick Davis, and he wouldn't let her in, but then he realized, well, she's attractive, but she's crazy. And they go on this trip to Adventureland in New Jersey, which is crazy because it was shut down. They go there. They want also because
This is before the Adventureland movie.
This is before the Adventureland movie.
okay.
This was because she was also a fan of Vacation. So he decides that they want to go on this ride together. Halfway through the journey, they pick up Miley Cyrus. Who sings a song the whole time, and Warwick Davis by accident kills her with a bottle of Bud Light. And then it turns into being for Dog and Country. I think that was the name of the movie. Yeah, For Dog and Country. So the thing is, they're going to pick up Margot Robbie's dog. Jonesy Biscuits Ralph's, and he's buried. Jonesy Biscuits Ralph was buried in a cemetery on the way there. So they kill Miley Cyrus and they find the dog, and then it just got shut down because there was they caught Pee Wee Herman jerking off in the theater again, and the whole thing got shut down. So
Whoa, that's
the whole movie got shut down.
A lot of fourth wall breaking.
Yeah,
it sounds like
that was the end of the movie.
time. All right,
failed.
We'll see with the audience which movie they're going to want to see more.
Not that one.
Mark, what movie?
Who doesn't love a great comedy every now and
really
again?
good.
But I think all of us boys are going to be lining up to see the hard-hitting action thriller Dean Stone. And I'll tell you why. It's because Pamela Anderson is enjoying a quiet life in the mountains after retiring from the Secret Service. But she gets called back into action when her husband is brutally murdered by President Maggie Smith. She's the President of the United States, and she's corrupt. And it's up to Pamela Anderson to infiltrate the White House and get to Maggie Smith. But there's only one thing stopping in her way. Her worst nemesis, Maggie Smith's favorite pet, Grumpy Cat, is there guarding the White House, and Pamela Anderson must figure out a way to get past all the security and defeat Grumpy Cat to get to Maggie Smith. Who plays Pamela Anderson's husband? Ralph Macchio as a Force ghost. He's dead.
That's a Force
Pamela
ghost.
Anderson is upset about it. She's going to go get her revenge because what was her husband's occupation? He was a quiet farmer, and they lived together in the mountains of Colorado. And why is this movie called Dean Stone? The name of Pamela Anderson's dead husband, you guessed it, Dean Stone.
Ooh, all right. That sounds fun, too. We got for logo. Now, I want to pull on these, Dan. We got for Dogger Country, Dean Stone, and we have JT. What's your movie?
All right, my movie is called Syndrome Chronicles 2.
Syndrome Chronicles 2.
It is a sequel.
I've seen that.
You've seen this,
What
okay.
year? What year was it?
It was 2000. But this is part 2 that's coming out now.
Oh, okay.
Syndrome Chronicles 2, Dean Stone, and for
Now,
Dogger
this is
Country.
a sequel to Syndrome
Country.
Chronicles
Okay.
that starred Keanu Reeves.
I don't remember Syndrome Chronicles. Can you
I'm
remind
going to
us?
give you a quick
Great.
recap of the first one.
Previously on?
Yeah, Syndrome Chronicles Part 1 is about a cop named starring Keanu Reeves. He is a psychological cop who goes after serial killers that have syndromes that they become celebrities and then they kill people, okay?
What's a psychological cop?
Psychological cop is where he basically he's like a cop that goes after psychopaths. Psychopathic cop. That's what I meant to say. Psychopathic cop.
I got it.
He goes after psychopaths, okay? Now the sequel is he's retired. And his father has to take him out of retirement because he's killed by one of these psychopathic killers, and that's played by Sam Elliott, who's in the opening scene of the movie.
You got a good cast.
Yeah, it is a good cast.
Wait, it was Keanu and who?
Sam Elliott.
Sam
Who's
Elliott,
his
okay.
father, who's in the movie and is killed right in the beginning by a psychopath who's actually goes as a music group, which is the Spice Girls. They use being a celebrity in a pop group as a cover for being serial killers. And Keanu Reeves, his father, who's killed Sam Elliott, is like, I gotta avenge my father. So the whole movie is him going after the Spice Girls and trying to convince the world that they really are psychopathic killers. And meanwhile, we're getting flashbacks of him and Sam Elliott. We're seeing how he taught him to be this psychopathic cop killer.
So wait, how is this different from one?
It's different from one is because Keanu Reeves starts off, he's in retirement, okay?
And one.
He's done, yeah, he did his job. Part 2, it starts off
John
with
Wick?
Sam Elliott getting killed. And his father.
Oh.
And he's back at it. He's back.
He's
He's
back.
back to kill the Spice Girls.
The problem with that
'cause
movie,
they're
it's just like
psychopathic
Zoolander
killers.
2. It's 15 years too late. That's the problem.
He said he made it in 2000.
2000 was the first one, but the new one's coming out now. So it's 16 years too
retired.
late.
It's 15 years later.
16
He's a
look,
broken
Zoolander
man.
2 didn't work.
That's a good point.
See,
That one's
that's a
15 years
comedy.
too late.
That's a comedy.
My comedy has that balloon scene that people still talk about.
I feel
That
you
was a good
guys.
balloon scene.
I feel you guys are missing the mark here. Okay, with Dean Stone, you guys think you hear Pamela Anderson. Oh yeah, barbed wire. She can get a fair shake in
Got a
barbed wire.
23% on Rotten Tomatoes.
And because it's
23%.
because it's not a good movie. Okay, you
Right.
can't pin a star by their worst movie. Pamela Anderson, they just threw in some makeup and some tight leather. Here, Pamela Anderson gets a chance to shine as the action star she was always meant to be. She was never meant to be just C.J. Parker. Now, is there a sex scene in a hotel room in my movie? Of course, there's going to be, guys. I'm only human, and she's only Pam Anderson.
Warwick
But-
Davis
hold on.
let Jackie Chan kick him in the mouth.
Okay, guys, I need help on this one. I don't know how to
Well,
judge this one. So on
first of all-
Twitter, tell me which movie you would buy the ticket to based on these pitches,
Yeah.
all right? I want to know
The
who
balloon
you're-
scene.
Which
Remember
one
the
are you going to
balloon
buy
scene.
the ticket to? Is it For Dogger Country, Dean Stone,
Starring Grumpy Cat.
or Syndrome Chronicles 2?
Directed by David
I'm going to
Fincher,
need that
by the
poll
way.
in a
It's
bit,
out.
so make sure everyone knows.
Poll
Okay,
is live.
last
Yeah.
final thoughts here.
David Fincher directed my movie.
Oh, it was a Fincher movie.
Listen,
You
nobody
mentioned
does
that.
psychopathic killers better than Fincher. He's awesome at it. And Sam Elliott is going to bring that gravitas to the scene because Keanu Reeves is a great actor. I'm sorry, he's not a great actor. He's a very good actor. But Sam Elliott is a home run.
Gravitas.
But what he didn't tell you is that David Fincher took his name off that movie.
He didn't.
Yes, he did take it off. It was in the trades 3 days ago. I read it.
Oh.
And the other thing is...
I sold that story to the trades to get some extra money. That is not true.
No, it was sold. It was sold. And I'm just telling you, Margot Robbie,
weird.
really funny. Like I said,
Who directed yours?
Ivan Reitman.
Oh, that's right.
And he crushed
You remembered
it.
that. I'm
I remember Evolution. I think that's one of his last
People love
movie.
to see Maggie Smith act like a
What
bitch. They
year
love
was
to
for
see
Dog
Grumpy
Country?
Cat.
Dog 2012.
Who else was in it again?
It was Miley Cyrus, Margot Robbie, and Warwick Davis. And Warwick Davis actually dressed as Wicked in the finale. It was amazing.
All right, and Mark, who was in yours again?
Pam Anderson. You get Ralph Macchio as the ghost of Pam Anderson's dead husband, Dean Stone, which is also the title of my
He's
film.
a Force ghost.
Grumpy Cat is the main villain because he is controlling the
Grumpy
president,
Cat?
who is played by at her bitchiest best, Maggie Smith.
and who directed it?
John McTiernan came back. Hard-hitting action.
All right, I think I've heard enough.
All right. So just to summarize for the audience at home, because the poll is live.
Okay.
So to summarize for them, here are your options that are live right now on Twitter. You have Ivan Reitman's For Dog and Country, starring Warwick Davis as himself, dressed as Wicket, and Margot Robbie with a cameo for Miley Cyrus, who's murdered. You have
By a Bud Light bottle.
I expect posters, guys.
You have John McTiernan's Dean Stone, starring Pamela Anderson and President Maggie Smith. Pamela Anderson fights Grumpy Cat and is married to Force ghost Ralph Macchio. And you have David Fincher's Syndrome Chronicles 2, starring Keanu Reeves as a psychotic cop.
Yep, you got it. It's a new thing.
And
Dude owned it. It would have been good.
And Sam Elliott as his murdered father. Is that a?
There was a cameo by Spice Girls.
cameo by
They
Spice
were the-
Girls.
okay.
By
Keanu Reeves
Spice
has to
Girl.
take them down.
Yeah.
I apologize. I
okay.
didn't mean to leave that out.
How do you forget Spice Girls?
All right. Well, I definitely need the viewers at home to help me decide this one. I have a leaning where I'm going, but do we have any polls coming in?
I'm looking at the poll results now.
Are we allowed to give our posters and our log lines
barn
yet?
burner.
Oh, sure. Let's do a log line while we wait for the
We
posters.
added more?
Log line, go ahead.
Oh, I have the best log line you'd ever want. So the poster is going to be the frame of the White House. You have evil Maggie Smith, kind of like Emperor Palpatine lurking in the background. Grumpy Cat is on top of the White House looking frumpled. And then Pam Anderson in all her Pam Anderson glory with a gun looking there. Ralph Macchio Force Ghost way here in the corner. You can see Pam Anderson, her voluptuous chest, and the log line says, the leader of the free world just got busted.
Well, for me, it was the best poster ever. I mean, you had Margot Robbie looking super sexy, and then you had Warwick Davis in the front looking really confused with dead Miley Cyrus and said, this summer it gets wicked.
Dead Miley Cyrus is in it. Wow.
Yep.
Okay, JT, what was your
It's a
poster?
comedy. She's
My
like,
poster is Keanu Reeves and Sam Elliott back to back, and the bottom is the Spice Girls performing. But instead of instruments, they have knives and bats with like spikes coming out of it, and one girl has a chainsaw, and it says Syndrome Chronicles 2.
Sucker punch.
No, wait.
The bad girls are back.
Oh, okay. All right, Dan, let's get those results. I've delayed as long
That's
as
a
I can.
playoff of Spice Girls question.
Well, the votes are still coming in, but I believe they've settled here.
We have a clear winner?
I believe we have a clear winner.
At what percentage is the winner?
40%.
And what
geez.
second place is?
Currently 31%.
Okay.
And third place is 29%
Third place was?
for Dog and Country.
Oh, Christian, that's not fair.
They still like me. It's fine. I'm accepting
All
it.
right, so first place, meaning the runner-up will be the other person. First place goes to?
In first place with 40% is Dean Stone.
Wow, Dean Stone
The
pulled
leader
it.
of the free world just got busted. You get it, boys? Because she's got big cans. You know what I'm saying here?
I'm going to let the audience call that one. I agree because I liked them all. That's going to make it a tie for the Schmoes. That means this next round's going to matter the most. Whoever wins this round goes to the finals against JT here. Wow, you made it to the finals, JT.
Made it, man. His first two were strong.
Christian, I'm surprised they didn't give that to you. I thought you were inspired there, and you really brought some good points against David Fincher being gone.
That's all right.
But you still got you're not done yet. Don't worry. Anything else, Dan? Before I.
No, I was just going to say, if JTE wins, then we're going to have to tie break between our Schmoes.
Oh,
to
that's
see
true.
who fights
Yes.
the
So
most
here,
people.
we'll make it even longer. Great. Final round. Round 5. With Valentine's Day upon us, Miss Movies asked us to revisit another classic fight, which Dan fought in one of my favorites, which was this. What's the best fictional world for you to have a first date in? Now, you can't pick any of the previous submissions, which were Neverland by Nick Mundy, Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory by Dan, and Ferris Bueller's Chicago by Spencer. So you must pick 3 new places, and we're starting with you, Mark. Where would the best fictional world be to go take a first date? Not on Valentine's Day.
That's easy. The swamp and swamp thing. I'm going to go.
Really? Go for it.
Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, particularly the Gobbler's Knob area in Groundhog Day, because it's a first date. You want to make a great impression. And if you mess it up, you get nervous, something happens, you wake up the next day and you get a chance to do it again until you get it right. Bill Murray learned so much about the world around him as well as himself when he went to Gobbler's Knob on that fateful day as just local weatherman Phil Connors. What he left that day with was a really cute girlfriend, Annie McDowell, because he learned how to connect as a human being. When you go on a first date with somebody, it's more about just seeing if they're attractive. It's more about just seeing if you guys have a vibe. It's maybe you learn something about yourself as well, and maybe you can share who you are with this new person. No better opportunity gives you that than being in a day that you can repeat yourself over and over and over again until you learn how to get it right.
JT, what are you picking?
I am going with Rivendell from Lord of the Rings. Let's throw the picture up there because that's going to do a lot of my work for me. You take a girl to this balcony for a nice picnic? Are you kidding me? Look at that. Look at the view. Look at there's waterfalls. I mean, not to mention...
Look, there's waterfalls,
listen, girls,
guys.
there's waterfalls. It's a fact. Also, not to mention the food is going to be fantastic. Everything's going to have like this elegant... It's almost like you're at the Oscars in Middle Earth. It's going to just be beautiful. The girl will just... Her breath's going to be taken.
Her breath?
Her breath is going to be taken.
Yeah.
Take my breath away. It's a great song.
It is a great song.
Kristian, what are you picking?
So he's the engineer of the show. Go ahead and throw mine up there. No one has anything. So, there we go. Okay, perfect.
Boom.
So this is a sporting event that is one of the best sporting events of all time, and it is when the Cleveland Indians won the pennant against the New York Yankees. You don't have to be a big sports fan to enjoy this game. This is first of all, you get to see the wild thing Ricky Vaughn get to pitch in that last inning. It's one of the most exciting games of all time. And if you ever take a date to a sporting event, it's an amazing experience. This is one that I think that the whole it's just for a first date ever, a baseball game. That's the way to do it. F it, Ellis, you get the win.
Andy,
I think I got the win.
I lost. I realized that it was the wrong. I thought it was a different category. I thought it was a different category that we were doing the band. I didn't realize we were doing the sporting event.
Look, I'm going to tell you.
You want to change your answer?
No, because I got to think about it.
I'm going to tell you.
You have a second. Don't bail, Kristian. Come on.
Let me think about it.
Go
I'm going to tell you a couple things.
I'll give you one for if you like to come back. When you come back, you have to hurry up or defend it, or you're out.
Let's talk about Groundhog Day.
Let's talk about the fact that I was put on the spot to argue Guardians of the goddamn Galaxy and Swamp Thing in this very fight, and I couldn't switch it. But I will say that even if I don't want to switch it, if I was going against Major League, the main thing that I don't want,
you could have switched it too, for the record.
The main thing I don't do that. The main thing I don't want on a first date is getting that girl anywhere near Charlie Sheen. I don't care. 1989.
He's on the mound. No, you're right. You're right.
She ain't getting anywhere near Charlie Sheen. With Rivendell, it's romantic until your date freaks out because there's a hobbit walking around with his goddamn toenails hanging over. This is like, what is it? Is this no sanitary? What is that person doing? Oh my God, is that a giant eye blinking and attacking me? Who's this old wizard selling you weed?
No. First of all, the hobbits are small little children-like animals that you just look at and be like, oh, that's cute.
Children-like animals.
Hobbits animals?
They're not
Children
humans.
like animals.
They're not humans. They're hobbits. I don't know what the category is.
Then you are 3 inches taller than an animal.
Thank you. Let me tell you another thing. Sauron is not even close to Rivendell. In all the movies, the Hobbit movies and Lord of the Rings, that is the one safe place in all
Gandalf can come in
those
and get him
films.
stoned.
What's he gonna do? Get him stoned? Is that a bad thing for some girls?
Depends. Some girls depends on who you're going out with, I guess.
Exactly the same thing for a baseball game. And Groundhog Day. First of all, you're stuck in that first day. Not every first date is gonna be amazing. What if that's a bad first date? You're stuck reliving it over and over and over and over.
If it's a bad first date, then you get the chance to improve it again and again and again.
I don't want to spend a year trying to get the date just right.
Yeah, but if this is marriage.
I want one day in and out. That's a good point. Yeah, I'm not trying to get married. This is the first date.
You know what? We see what kind of romantic you are when you say, I want one date in and out. So you just want one shot of your date. Well, that's real classy of you.
It's the first date. You don't know what's going to happen. You've been on a bad date before?
So I want to clarify. Are you taking a lot of ladies to Rivendell?
I'm just taking one girl, and I don't know her before this. It's the first date.
But how quickly do you bring the next girl to Rivendell?
I guess it depends how good that date goes.
You wouldn't be able to eat anything. The hobbits eat everything. They won't even let you eat anything.
Have you seen they have that magic bread where you take one bite and it fills you up like that?
Yeah, but they wouldn't even let her do it. They're very stingy with their food.
No, they're
what I will tell you about. I'll tell you about this
It's all about
with the Indians is the fact that if she's an actual sports fan, if the fact that what's happening throughout that season, the fact that you watch an underdog all the way through the story, those characters from all.
She doesn't have all that backstory, like what's going on in the locker room in Major League. She's just watching Sports Center.
Have you seen what the way Cleveland treats their sports teams? They absolutely.
So she's from Cleveland.
She's from Cleveland.
Because right away, by taking a girl to a baseball game,
wait,
you're
you
automatically
can name
limited.
where your date.
Yeah,
you can pretend.
Why not?
Are we custom making our date like it's weird science?
Not every girl likes baseball. Okay, is all
the
I'm
one
saying.
that I'm taking to this date does.
Are we allowed to say what they like now?
If I'm taking, well, why would you take them there if you don't think that they're gonna like it?
Because it's a first date and you don't know the girl.
I would just some random. Hey, come with me. You're gonna find out about the person
We're going to a
first.
baseball game. She's gonna be like, oh, okay.
You don't. This is a first date.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a first date.
Well,
you'll find out if she likes baseball. You'll find out if you want to stay with
Whether
her
a
for
girl likes
eternity
if she
over and
likes
over again.
baseball or not,
and
she'll
you'll
still go.
take her to
But
that.
you don't know if she likes
You guys
baseball.
you guys are missing the
You don't
point
know.
though, because Punxsutawney is not purgatory. Okay, Punxsutawney is the place you can go until you get the date right. Whether you find out whether it's meant to be, whether it's not meant to be,
Dan?
you go
is
to
that
find
what,
out.
Is that what caused the repeat to stop?
Literally, one of the big taglines of Groundhog Day was that he has this many chances to get it right, and he gets it right. So there's a risk, however unlikely, that the girl you take to see the Cleveland Indians win is not into baseball. There's a risk, however unlikely, that you go to the wrong restaurant in Riverdale, she gets food poisoning. But that will never happen in my universe because you get a day over again to make sure you have the best first date custom made to whatever girl you're going out with.
I'm calling it, Dan. I'm calling it. You know why?
Why?
Because it's a mess.
Christian
gave up, so I'm gonna take him out. And you picked a place that JT just schooled you on. Why would I want to be stuck playing this date over and over again? So here's what happens. JT's getting the point, and we're doing a tiebreaker to decide who goes to the finals.
All right, let's get ratings.
Let's go. But we could keep dwelling, but it's like, I don't know where it's going. Why would you want to be stuck? He said it perfectly. Why would I want to be stuck? What if the date's wrong?
It's not. Then you get to go to the next day. If he wasn't
with the same girl,
if he wasn't meant for Andy McDowell, you never have that movie to begin with. They were meant to be with each other. You get to find out if you're meant to be with somebody.
I don't want to spend a year though.
Yeah, the timing's screwed. He pointed out a great point about the timing, and you gave up.
What is it about?
I just thought it was a different question.
It's the worst round I ever fought on this show.
I almost got me to tell Nick to shut the
I
completely thought it was a different question. I'm going to pull a band out.
Thanks, Miss Movies.
Sorry about
for asking us to revisit that one.
I thought it was a different question.
I'm not blaming you. It was I picked it too. All right, so I'm just calling that one. So that means JT's really in the lead with 3.
Andy, can I make a point? If we were in Punxsutawney, we could have done that round over.
No, that's exactly the problem.
Yes.
Could have made sure we knew what was going on.
All right, Dan. I hope the fans don't mind that I did that.
At Pure Geekery on Twitter does say, "Damn JTE, so cheap that you feed your date limus bread. No appetizers, no dessert, just a bite of weird almond toast."
Some girls on a first date don't like to pick out a lot. They just want a little salad.
All right.
When you go on your first date, you're in for a world of hurt, my friend.
All right, here we go. Based on the tiebreaker. Okay.
I'm sitting this one out.
You're sitting this one out, JT. Ready? This is speed round tiebreaker. Act quick. You guys both listening?
Mm-hmm.
Speed round tiebreaker to see who goes against JT. What movie had the best part 3?
Rocky 3.
Return of the Jedi.
Wow, not the ones we thought. Toy Story, Return of the King, but Rocky 3 and Jedi. Okay, great. Okay, we got Rocky 3 and Jedi. Kristian, I heard you first, so 15 seconds on the clock for Rocky 3. Whenever you start talking, the time will start.
Rocky 3 had to change what it was the first two. It was Apollo Creed. They had to introduce somebody. They introduced Mike Tyson before Mike Tyson was Mike Tyson with Clubber Lang. It was the death of a beloved character. It was him losing the title and winning it and pairing up back with Apollo Creed. And it introduced Eye of the Tiger.
You had everything that you would have in Rocky 3, except you had a better villain in Darth Vader and the Emperor. You had a more emotional death with Yoda, and Return of the Jedi sealed the greatest franchise of all time, whereas Rocky was just another fight that Rocky had to go through.
There were no Ewoks in Rocky 3.
But you can't prove that.
Okay. Okay, you both got it a point. We're going to do 5-second rebuttals of accounting now. Okay. 5-second rebuttal, Kristian, go.
They needed special editions for Return of the Jedi continuously, and with adding songs, they needed to constantly trying to improve it. You don't have to improve Rocky 3.
5-second rebuttal for Mark. Hold on. Letting Dan get situated and go.
Luke Skywalker became a Jedi Knight based on the promise of A New Hope. It sealed the greatest franchise in movie history.
Whoo! All right, Janine, I really need your help now. Based on those arguments, who do you like?
I liked Mark's point about it's just another fight for Rocky, so I'd go for Mark.
Dan.
That's a closer fight than I thought it
Yeah,
would
it
be.
was.
It's close.
I actually kind of sided. Christian's point about it kind of changing what it needed to be because the first two were Apollo, and it was. I kind of sided with Christian, to be honest.
Yeah, so that puts me back in the middle, and it was actually really tough because I'm with Dan. I thought Christian pulled it out in the end, and I didn't think he did. And I thought there's more you could have said that I didn't hear. So the underdog, Rocky 3, got it for me based on the arguments, and so I give it to Christian. I apologize, Mark. You were close. That means Christian moves on to the end.
So the guy that hosts the Star Wars show just argued against Star Wars and somehow fails his way up the ladder.
You can point that out.
It hurt to do.
Janine, I apologize.
I'm the new host of Jedi Council, and Christian hosts the Rocky show.
It hurt to do.
I'm on a time delay for Movie Fights Live, by the way. They may all just rage quit after that.
They might rage quit after the Punxsutawney thing got eliminated for no reason. That was like a whole category.
He's still mad. Look,
unbelievable.
It's all right. Mark,
And I didn't get to argue why Wild Stallions should be playing halftime at the Super Bowl.
That's where I had sexual chocolate.
The FCC would have killed that in a heartbeat.
Speed round. Are we ready?
Yes.
This is it. Five rounds left. 5 points left. Christian, you're down by 3? 2.
3 to 1.
3 to 1.
3 to
so
1.
you gotta catch up here. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Round 1. This is the way it works. 15 seconds each, just like we just did. You guys know how to play this. I'm not gonna waste more time. Round 1. Which fictional singer or group from a movie would you have to perform the halftime at a Super Bowl?
Wild
Spinal
Stallions.
Tap.
Tag me in! Tag me in! Dude, I can win this point for you.
All right, now here's your chance, Christian. You wanted that question. It was the first one on the list.
Yeah.
Because we pushed it.
Yeah.
I heard you first.
Me first?
JT,
Okay.
right? You picked
Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap. All right, go ahead.
All right, Spinal Tap, because they know how to put on a show. And one of the best things about Spinal Tap, something will go wrong. It never interferes with a song, but it will be the most tweeted and gifted moment of the Super Bowl halftime since Janet Jackson's boob made an appearance.
Okay.
Wild Stallions are the saviors of the world. The fact that they have no more beer, there's no more drunk fights. The second they start playing, everyone just listens and tunes in. The whole world tunes in. It's the highest rated Super Bowl of all time because they're the saviors of the world, and George Carlin will be there in all his glory. And it's like, hey, there's Georgie.
5-second rebuttal, JT.
We never actually got to see Wild Stallions play, so I can't tell you any songs they would actually play. Big Bottom by Spinal Tap with Nicki Minaj.
Okay, 5-second rebuttal.
That's because you were probably in hell with the Reaper and not watching them play, because they played with Clarence, one of the best saxophone players of all time, with Bruce. They'd absolutely
God
not play.
gave rock and roll to ya. Gotta give the. I gotta go with Christian. Janine, where do you stand?
Christian.
Dan.
I would have gone with JT.
Oh wow! I thought you proved the point. If the Wild Stallions are playing and we're in that world, they're changing the world, and that sounds pretty damn.
Imagine if they got Eddie Van Halen for their band.
I know.
All right, Christian, you got the point. Here we go. Number 2. We have a visual aid, so it's going to pop up on that TV screen. So pay attention. Not yet. I'll tell you when. I'm queuing you up. We good? Cool. Awesome. Taylor Walker on Twitter asked this one. Bargain bin pick. Please keep sending your bargain bin picks, guys. Which of these two should we buy? Flash it up. The Tooth Fairy franchise?
Tooth Fairy.
Or the Baby Geniuses franchise?
Baby Geniuses franchise.
All right. I heard Tooth Fairy first.
Wow.
Now, let's keep that up just so we're clear. We all both remember which is both of them. Both Tooth Fairies and both Baby Geniuses, okay? We all got that?
Yep.
Okay. All right. And JT, you start with Tooth Fairy. Go ahead.
Tooth Fairy is going to win this, no problem, because it has The Rock. He's actually funny. This is back when he was actually showing he had a funny bone and wasn't doing action movies. And it's a good family film that you actually watch with a kid and they'll enjoy it, and you'll actually get some laughs out of it, too.
Tooth Fairy and
Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
All right. You didn't use up all your time. 15 seconds. Go ahead.
The Tooth Fairy nearly destroyed The Rock's career, and then look at that sequel. That's embarrassing all of itself. If you have kids, you can have them watch the Baby Geniuses. It'll be a lot of fun. They can watch it for the kids. I mean, it's not a movie that makes you go, oh my God, what is this person doing with their career? There's kids. They should be doing that movie. The Baby Genius, it's cute, it's funny, and it's...
5-second rebuttal.
Baby Genius is a god-awful movie, and at least with Tooth Fairy, it is bad, but at least you have The Rock, something to hang on to. Baby Genius has nobody famous.
We're talking about the franchise. What about that second movie? Defend that one.
That first Tooth Fairy is better than both those Super Baby movies.
No, we're talking about the second Tooth Fairy movie.
It's a 2-pack. I'll just watch the first one. The second one, if you want to watch it,
I can watch both mine. I can watch both mine because it has the same
No,
things
you
like
can't.
cute kids.
All right, I let him go. I let him have it.
Yeah,
Because they were not using their time wisely. They did it there at the end. They had some equal. I think you each got equal time. So there we go. Janine, based on those arguments, Baby Geniuses franchise or the Tooth Fairy franchise? Keyword franchise.
I go for JT.
JT gets the point. Dan.
They were pretty equal.
I agree.
I go Christian, I think.
Put me on the spot again. Yeah.
It's a great noise.
You know, I'm here too.
I think you, yeah, it really was tough because The Rock. Does that just mean it wins? I don't think you needed more than that because that's the obvious choice for me. And you sold me on the family part more, which is what that movie is. Kids like that.
I said it was a
So
family
I got to
movie.
go with Christian as well. Sorry, Janine, we keep overruling you.
Can't believe I lost
We'll be on the same page, I'm hoping.
I'm with you, Janine.
Christian got the point. All right, well, so are we tied?
We're tied. It's 3-3.
All right, here we go. Rule number 3. Now you can interpret this any way you want. Interpret this one. Interpret.
I got you.
You got it. Interpret.
Yeah, I got it.
Sorry, JT, I was taking it from you.
I love it.
Any way you want. Ready? Best movie to Netflix and chill.
Love Actually.
Oh man. Nymphomaniac Volume 1.
All right. Love Actually. 15 seconds on the clock. Go ahead.
Hang on, I forgot my
Hold on.
clock here.
Sorry.
Ready.
Love Actually tells so many love stories. You and the girl are gonna actually connect to one of them. Something's gonna hit, and you're gonna fall in love. And you're gonna feel like, oh man, maybe I can relate to this. And maybe we have the same situation. And it's got a great cast. It's hysterical, and it's one of the most beloved romantic comedies of all time.
Okay, 15 seconds.
That's boring. Let's see what your date's got. Let's watch Nymphomaniac Volume 1. You're talking about getting connected. That's the movie to watch because first of all, you watch it and you can see is he sexually adventurous? Are you sexually adventurous? It's a movie that you can watch and say, okay, wait a minute, I am confident in what I'm watching here. Lars von Trier, give it to me, you son of a bitch.
5-second rebuttal, JT.
There's 0% chance of a girl running out of my house while watching Nymphomaniac. She will run out of the house if you watch it.
Not if you ask her nicely.
Well,
what I'm saying is, watching Love Actually, you will not run out of the house.
Okay, because that's not what you said. You said there's a 0 chance they're going to run out.
So 0 chance she's going to run out of my movie.
All right.
There's a chance they can run out of his.
Okay. Dan Murrell, what do you think?
Listen. We discussed this on SJU. People are misunderstanding Netflix and chill. There's only one option for what you're going to do if you're actually going to Netflix and chill and do what that saying means, and that's Christians.
What?
I'm with Christian too. I think it is the one that's going to do what the term means. Janine, what do you think?
I agree.
She agrees. 3. All right.
That's unbelievable.
Christian's in the lead.
Yeah, he's in the lead.
It's
now.
not Netflix and watch the movie.
It's not Netflix and watch the movie. Netflix and chill means
they're gonna run out of the house.
And if that's your goal,
you should just change
the girl
it.
might watch yours.
Right. You should just change it. Yeah, right. Change it. You change it to Lars von Trier it.
So let me recap. Christian has won 2 points, but he's lost this Star Wars show and a wife.
That's true.
I hope it was worth it.
Yeah, that's true.
JT, come on.
I know,
This
try
is
it.
it.
I
This is the
thought I-
Rocky
I
moment
thought I
right
brought
now.
it. I thought I brought
JT,
it.
this is the Rocky moment. Can you bring it back? He needs to win both of these, right?
That is correct.
Eye of the tiger. Let's go.
Here we go. What movie what's the best movie to watch on Valentine's Day?
I see you. Love Actually. I'm kidding.
Well, you said it.
Oh, you want that? Okay.
Yes,
All right,
you said
that's
it.
fine. All right, that's fine.
I will go with When Harry Met Sally.
Okay, here we go. 15 seconds on the clock. Christian, go ahead.
Love Actually, for a movie you actually want to watch on Valentine's Day, and it's all about love and the fact that it's got family, it's about relationship. It is one of the best ensemble romantic movies possibly of all time, with great performances, great writing, and it's just a movie that the heart feels. You feel it after you watch that film.
All right, JT, go ahead.
Love Actually is there's so many small little stories, you can't really connect to anyone fully. With When Harry Met Sally, you get a full relationship from beginning to end, and it really could show you like how you could work through things with your significant other who you've been with for who knows how long, but it's Valentine's Day, so you're celebrating it, so you've been together for a while.
5-second rebuttal, Christian.
The movie's good. Again, dated. I think as far as everything, what's going on today, and if you watch that film, if you watch Love Actually, it's a movie that really works.
Okay.
When Harry Met Sally is timeless. It's one of the best films in the AFI Top 100 comedies of all time, and it's quotable and it has iconic scenes.
Janine, I'm going to you. Based on the arguments.
Based on the argument.
When Harry Met Sally or Love Actually?
Probably When Harry Met Sally. The timeless got me.
Dan?
Yeah, it's hands down JT.
Yeah, I thought so too. JT brought it back.
I'll give it to JT.
Give me
So, JT,
this
is it.
I ruined it for the joke.
So wait, Kristian,
for the game.
This is for the game.
This
so
is
they're
the
tied.
last question.
They're tied.
Final question.
Look at that.
Yeah, but
For
don't
the
count
game.
out Mark.
It's getting nasty.
Here we go.
Come on. Best Arnold movie, please.
Best Stallone movie, please.
Keep it quiet over there and pronounce something.
I think I need to change this last question just to be
What is
fair.
it? Is it a Star Wars question?
Okay, yeah. Well, here's what the question was.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it. I'm
right.
killing
Okay.
it because
Well,
the question was, what's the best movie with the word love? And I just know it's going to be Love Actually.
There's a lot of Valentine's Day. Yeah.
Something new.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. My other tiebreaker question. We're using this the last one I got on paper, so let's not mess this one up.
All right.
Tell me, Hollywood's best Ryan.
Gosling. No, that's not
Hold
it.
on.
Shh. Take your time at JT. This is it for
Is
all
it
the
actor
marbles.
or anything Hollywood?
Hollywood's best Ryan.
I trained you so well.
Ryan.
All the marbles, JT.
Can I guess another one?
Oh, no, hold on. I'm thinking. I'm going to go with Meg Ryan.
Not Ryan Reynolds.
No, not Ryan Reynolds.
Oh,
All right,
I
Meg
thought
Ryan.
not Ryan Reynolds.
Meg Ryan versus Ryan Gosling. This is gonna be fun. Ryan Gosling on. Kristian, 15 seconds.
Can I start with saying we haven't seen Meg Ryan in about 10 years? Ryan Gosling, for me, you look at everything the guy does. He's arguably one of the best actors working today. Look what he did in The Big Short. Look what he did in Drive. Look at everything that the guy does. He knocks it out of the park. He's one of those guys people go to watch him perform.
All right, hold on. I just need to make sure I got all that. Okay.
Megan Ryan has had a long career, longer than Ryan Reynolds, and she's been in classics like When Harry Met Sally, Sleepless in Seattle. She's also been in stuff like Inner Space, Top Gun. She's had a great range of careers. She always does a great job. She is the best girlfriend of any movie, love, action, or comedy.
Well, it's Ryan Gosling, and as far as she was great in her day, but we're talking about the question was who's Hollywood's today? Ryan Gosling is the guy
Hold on.
today.
Was it today?
Question is Hollywood's best Ryan. 5
Yes.
seconds, go.
Meg Ryan is a fantastic actress who has more range than most female actors working today, and Ryan Gosling is kind of one note.
Definitely not one note.
Claws came out.
That's how I want it to end because that was good on both sides. Janine, I'm going to you. I know who I'm picking. I'm writing it down.
I love your shirt, Janine.
Oh,
That was a great job.
All right, I write
mine down too.
I write mine down.
Notice
I
you're
was swaying my vote.
Notice you're not
But
on our
I'm
shirt.
curious, Janine, where are you going? Based on the arguments.
I think I'm going with Kristian.
Kristian.
Interesting.
Dan.
I typed it on my screen. It says Meg Ryan. So
What did I write there?
it was
What
because
did I
of the
write there,
longevity.
Kristian?
You wrote that before the show started.
JT.
Meg Ryan?
Meg Ryan, I think
freaking Ryan.
you set him up. Where's she been? And then he came with it. If you hadn't listed and shown me the long range, he was gonna trounce you.
Yeah.
But you came from behind. You brought the facts up, and then he threw you. And the last part, it's Hollywood's best Ryan. Counts it all. And so, wow, kudos.
That was tough.
JT did it.
I almost went
That was a
Ryan.
nail biter, guys.
All I could think of was
Look
Ryan
who you
Phillippe.
trained. Look how you trained this
All
chatbot.
I could think was Ryan Phillippe, and I was like, Ryan Phillippe hasn't done crap except for Crash.
Whoa.
I mean,
Hey.
besides Crash, I mean,
Felipe.
he's okay.
Felipe.
Cruel Intentions, but I was just like, I need something.
Well, he's definitely not listening to JT movie
No,
things.
he's not.
JT, you wanted this fight. You did the sneak attack. You took them down. What do you have to say to yourself?
These are the two toughest opponents I'll probably ever face, except for maybe that guy sitting over there, which I do hope to get a shot at one of these days.
Dan, what do you got to add?
All right, then I was going to hold off, but because JT,
Very
there's a very significant Ryan that's near and dear to your heart that you forgot, which would be Ryan Coogler, who directed Creed,
yeah.
your favorite movie of last year.
I agree, but not enough on his
Yeah,
resume.
not enough. Only 2 movies.
Oh.
Kristian and Mark, wow, you guys were such sports, and some of our best fighters. I'm so honored you got it, and I cannot wait to hear more about Phase 6. I hope we learned anything we can plug while you're here. Kristian Harloff.
You can find me on Collider Jedi Council, Collider Movie Talk, and obviously Fandango and Schmoes Know.
Mark Ellis.
Kristian used to host Jedi Council. I'm the new guy there now. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Schmoes Know. I'll be at the Comedy Store in La Jolla, just north of San Diego, this Friday through Sunday. So if you want a nice Valentine's Day present, come and see the guy who got to movie fights 30 minutes early.
Guys, go see Mark live. He's really funny. I got to do it. JT, anything you'd like to plug?
Twitter, @SchmoesJT. I have my own podcast, JT Movie Things, where we talk about the last movie the person watched. Also, you can catch me engineering a Screen Junkies. I'm in the booth, and hopefully I'll still be on Schmoes Know when we come back.
Dan Murrell on the couch. Murrell Dan, that was a fun fight.
At Murrell Dan, this is a great fight, and I think somehow through our arguments, or through our decisions, or through what people said on the show today, we have alienated every single person that was following us on #MovieFightsLive. So congratulations, guys.
Janine, was that a fun fight to watch?
Yes, between dead Miley Cyrus and Swamp Thing. I was a little confused, but I had a good time.
I'm glad you got to be here. Thank you so much. And thank you to everybody in the back who came along. You guys are all awesome. Don't forget, if you want to join us in the fan cam, sj.plus/fancam, which is up there. And don't forget, Knocking Dead plugs, I'm plugging here, Monday at 1 p.m. to watch us talk about Walking Dead, which I'm sure we're all going to watch Sunday. That's it. I think I covered, that's everything. Honest Trailer Commentary is dropping this weekend on ScreenJunkies Plus. We love you guys. Have a wonderful Valentine's Day. Thank you all so much. Tune in after the fight next if you're watching live. Thanks, everybody.
Every podcast we put on YouTube comes with this kick-ass graphic listing all the topics your favorite Screen Junkies podcasters are talking about. If you click the topics, you can skip around and choose your own podcast battle royale. Go ahead, try them all. If you haven't already, subscribe to Screen Junkies on YouTube to join us for future fights. Or if you prefer to listen on iTunes, click the logo to download an audio version.